Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the We Know Traitors podcast over here on RHAP. My name is Pooya Zanvikili, aka PZV, aka the Duke of Deception, as said by this award on my table. So, what you are about to hear is an interview with a contestant from the Traitors Canada, a very familiar contestant from this season of Traitors Canada to us. And we were able to score a interview to talk about the first episode. So this is me giving you first spoiler warning that this interview is going to consist of us talking about material that happened in episode 1, the premiere. So if you have not watched yet, get out and go watch it if you're trying to complete it, or watch ahead, enjoy the interview because it was very fun. But fair warning, you're gonna find stuff out. So if you're okay with finding stuff out, stay in. If you want to not find stuff out until you watch the episode, pause, go watch the episode, come back and enjoy this amazing interview that we got, little takes that we got, and honestly, hype that was built for this season through the interview. So make sure you check it out, enjoy, comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the We Know Traitors podcast over here on RHAP. I am your host, the Duke of Deception, ready to talk to an incredible person here from this very season of Traitors Canada season 3, which has premiered. Make sure you check out episode 1. Here to talk to us is a beloved friend, the best winner of Big Brother Canada, self-proclaimed here, mentioned on the show, actually, the one and only. Sorry, it was the best Big Brother player ever from Canada. It's Kevin Jacobs of BB Can 10. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about this. Last night was pretty fascinating to watch. Obviously, you see me kind of taking it on the chin at the end of the episode, but that was good TV.
It really was, man. They put us on a roller coaster, and it was. I'm usually not a fan of rides like that. I was very excited to be on this ride because let me tell you, I feel like, and actually, you know what? You tell me, Kevin. Preparing to go on the show, did you watch every iteration of the show you could potentially get your eyes on?
No, I watched about 7 seasons. You want to hear about my prep, Pooya?
Sure.
I watched like 7 seasons of the English speaking, watched a lot of highlights. I used a lot of AI to run through and see who the potential cast would be. Was pretty accurate with most of it, other than Ty, which you heard me say in a confessional, and then ran through scenarios of how do I win this game, how do I approach it, and so that was my prep was a combination of a little bit of watching. 7 seasons a little bit for me, and then a lot of crunching the numbers, and then also obviously communication research, the usual hostage negotiation, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, 7 seasons. I can't imagine how you would have felt then being in a situation where you are sitting at the round table, blindfolds come off, and you find out if I didn't tap you on the shoulder, you are a traitor.
So I think when people get tapped on the shoulder as a traitor, they have a moment where they're like, oh, I need to figure out how to act. I was very much anticipating being a traitor. Like that was, I'd say I was at about 80% that I'm going to be a traitor. And so when I didn't get tapped, I was like, wait, how does a faithful act? Like, what do I, because walking into the house meeting everybody before the traitors were selected, I was like, I'm a traitor. I am a traitor. And so sitting at the table, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I guess.
How do I do this?
Down? Like, what does a faithful do?
Yeah, I think so. I do want to know what your thought is on this, because to me, it feels like it essentially neutralizes everyone's takes at the table, right? Where you hope that, okay, none of this is admissible in the round table moving forward because everyone was putting on a bit of an act because they thought they were traitors, or maybe they weren't paying as much attention to you, kind of thing.
So I actually completely disagree, because you're giving everyone that kind of credit. But when you're in a game like this, there are different people who have, maybe done the prep. There are people who are just walking in. You have everything across the board. So in a game where we saw, how people drinking water, like it comes into play. You drink water, you're clear, Coke. All right, that's what Marin said. So it's like, I almost think in some ways it will clear people, and in others it's like you've just given everyone something else to go off of if they're, looking for something.
Yeah, well, it's like they just have to reverse image search now. They're like, okay, who seemed too calm? Because that's, you know what I mean? Like, again, the Traitors is a game where it doesn't matter what and how things go, people are going to make assumptions and they're going to trust their guts when they shouldn't, or they're not going to trust their guts when they really should. So it's a bit of a catch-22 in the most entertaining of ways. Another twist that got announced, and I think this, I would love to hear your thought on this because you'd be on the receiving end of this, is the announcement that every traitor bag this season will add $10,000 to the prize pot. How did you feel as someone who was assuming this is going to be my role? How did you feel hearing this?
You know that short story where I think it's called like The Greatest Game or something, where they're on this island and this guy invites somebody there. And then his game is that he lets him loose on the island and he chases him and tries to kill him. Well, if you haven't, look it up. One of the great short stories. Okay. I'm the guy running away. I know going in that these people are trying to kill me, and that's excited for me. So when Kareem says there's $10,000 as additional incentive, as a traitor, I'm like, that's great. As a faithful, I probably wouldn't care.
Okay. So I think we have similar mindsets because I also wouldn't care. We talked about this on the pod, but for me, essentially, it'd be like, if everyone else cares, then I care also. I care deeply. But if no one else cares or no one else is bringing it up, I'm not going to bring it up. I do not think it's going to benefit me in any way. Now,
but I think the thing is, Pooya, with 22 people, that's, whatever I think, whatever you think, there are going to be 22 opinions there, especially with this cast where there are a lot of big personalities.
Yeah. And I mean, if like the 3 vocal people within the cast with big personalities are like, no, we care about the 10,000. I'm like, yes, we do. Absolutely. Let's do that. I would switch up so quickly on what I think because I feel like you don't want to get left behind or you don't want to get looked at sideways for having a different opinion at that point.
So what do we think about Omer clocking me right there?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Can I be honest with you? If I was, let me pretend to be in a Freaky Friday situation. I'm either you or I'm Omer.
Okay.
If I'm in that
body
castle,
are you taking in this situation?
That's for me to know and for other people to make assumptions.
Okay.
But if I'm there as one of you and I get told I am a faithful, I'm assuming the other one of you is potentially a traitor. Because I would assume that we kind of come from different franchises, but maybe serve the same role. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the 2 of you in the turret together would be cinema, but there can't be 2 of you. There can only be 1. So I think that would be my personal read, would be that it could be more of a meta response, unless the read is that you were acting a certain way, which I feel like if the roles were reversed, I would assume if you were like Omer was acting weird, like I get that. But I feel like you seem like more of a cooler agent under pressure. So how did you feel seeing that back? And do you think there's anything you can think of to pinpoint and be like, yeah, I kind of did that. Maybe that's what he looked at.
I think it's the meta. And I think no matter what, like Omer was one of the people who you don't see him on the Survivor 50 cast. Okay. You can almost guarantee he's going to be on Traitors Canada. And so actually when Kareen, before she revealed the twist, I was looking at him and I was like, okay,
of course you were.
I'm not a traitor. I was looking at Omer. I was like, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what it was. My gut said he's a traitor. Then she does the switch. I'm like, okay, I am a traitor. And I look at Omer and I see him be disappointed. So I know he's not in the turret with me. I know he's a faithful. So you just kind of have to assume based on the meta that one of us is. I think that's on.
Yeah. Well, was there any situation where you thought after seeing Ty in the manner that if it wasn't you, it could be Ty or vice versa? Like, did you have that same feeling towards him?
No, I thought it would be me or Omer.
Okay.
Just from a... So I almost did so much prep. And like I had Anthony, Spicy V, Bailey, Ika on my list, and I just didn't anticipate Ty being in there for whatever reason. So it was super interesting for me to see him, and I wasn't as ready to like jump in it because day one, you're not only listening to everything that Kareen's saying, but you're looking at the portraits, you're looking at the statues, you're pulling their arm to see if they open up, or a book to see if there's a hidden passage. So there's so much stimulation going on. I saw Ty and I was like, Ty's a faithful. They want him to go at people at the round table.
So were you because he's your one BB Can alum there alongside you, were you happy? Like, as far as like the list of people you mentioned, once you saw him, what was your reaction to it being Ty? Were you happy with him being there, or were you like, this is somebody who probably isn't going to obfuscate the sus that I'm gonna have on me anyway? Like, what was your read on that?
As a person, I was thrilled. He got a brutal edit on his season of Big Brother, and I actually when I met him outside the show, I really like the guy. From a gameplay perspective, I was like, this is going to be a little bit complex, because going in, I kind of planned things out. That said, after I got picked as a traitor, my heart, before Kareen dunked on me at the end of the episode, my heart sunk with this idea that I'd recruit Ty, but thinking later in the game he would get out and take away some heat from me. Because going in, I'm like, my chances of winning, it's going to be an uphill battle, but if anybody can do it, I can do it. So I needed that, and I was excited, but I was also heartbroken. A lot of emotions in there.
Yeah, I think that my immediate thought was, okay, this is good for Kevin because it's another Big Brother Canada winner, at least, right? Yeah. Like, you can't be pinpointed as like the only winner situation. So I'd like that for you, but I think I co-sign everything else you said as far as how I felt looking at it. Now, speaking of getting selected as a traitor, you have to have this, you have this pendant, and you have to find the other traitor in plain sight and then scheme for recruiting a couple new traitors with this person as well. Kevin, you are so uniquely you, and I say that, and I'm saying this is a positive comment. It might sound shady, it's not, because my heart was beating out of my chest watching you literally walk around with it around your neck willy-nilly. This, and I've watched you on the feeds on BB Can, so I know you peacock sometimes. I know you'll present without a shadow of a doubt, without any confidence lost. Walk us through your feelings and emotions doing all this, please.
Well, there are two schools of thought. The one is, I'm just going to go and have a good time and see what happens. Okay, maybe that's the less intelligent one. The other school of thought is, well, in a situation where I have a pretty large target on my back, and whether I'm a traitor or a faithful, people are going to be suspicious of me. Gameplay wise, I need to do a couple of things. One is I need to own who I am early on, because with 22 people in the cast, there are going to be some, and there are a lot of super fans in this cast. Also, if I can get out the more quiet people early in the game, then maybe I can get the loud and wrongs to attack each other, and I can get lost in the crossfire. So if I establish this baseline where I'm being an absolute weirdo and I just lean into that, when I have to do things that are outside of the norm for other people acting like regular human beings, I'm going full alien with that thing around my neck. And it's like, oh, that's just Kevin.
Yeah, and it was honestly brilliant because really only one person knew what they were looking for. So no one was going to think anything of it. And especially if you're exuding this, like, I have a lot of energy and I don't know where to put it, or like, I have a lot of energy, I'm just dancing. That's good because no one's going to think twice about it. And Coco will find you, which happened. And you noticed Coco noticing you, which I thought was a good eye as well. Because I don't know if I'm in your shoes, I would figure it out without the pendant being in my face like that.
It was just because of the time limit. I also figured I would just send it. And then when Coco's like, oh, I need to talk to you, I'm like, okay, great. Because everybody's having their conversations, but also something in her intonation as well was like, okay, you're the one.
So we do see the two of you talk, and now you're like, all right, let's talk potential recruitments. And you mentioned, listen, the only shot I have at victory here, I need a burner up in that turret with us. And
this is game structure, by the way. For me, this is the right strategic move is to have Ty in the turret and maybe even have himself get banished later in the game, which would absolve me of any heat, because they're not going to put two Big Brother Canada winners in.
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly what we discussed, that would be the thought behind it, right? Where it's like, you're like, okay, this is someone who if I have in the turret with me, I can trust, I can work with.
Yeah.
B, I can start piling some evidence against him a little bit. and then
I don't even have
push him
to.
out.
I don't even have to.
Right.
Ty is a vocal person. He might get himself banished.
He
And if
might get
not,
into a heated argument with somebody, and yeah, he'll
I
go
could
out.
trust
Exactly.
him 100%.
Yeah. And like, it's easy done for you because, again, to your point, no one's going to think the two Big Brother people were both in the turret. That's not going to happen. So were you pretty much like, that's definitely, like, was that a locked in thought for you even before you found Coco to discuss these things? Like, from when you had read the letter, was Ty locked in for you as your candidate?
No. First of all, my despite me blowing it, my red flags were going off a little bit because I was like, okay, they're getting us to recruit 2 traitors. Something weird is going on. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it, but in my head, I was like, I don't know. And what I thought is, okay, Coco's going to have somebody that she wants. I need to get one of Ty, Venus, or Omer in the turret. Okay. In my head. And because I was like, these are reality people. These are people who I know a little bit. So going into that conversation, also, one of the things on my mind was typically the first time the traitors meet is around the turret. They lift down their hoods and then they start talking. And that is the moment when their guards are down the most. So for me, I almost just wanted to own the Ty relationship off the bat because that's obvious. She could see it. I would like to build some trust with Coco at this point as well. So I'm like, yeah, Ty is my person. So that's why I decided to go down that route.
That's all solid explanation there. So then Coco is mulling over options on who to bring in. And from what we saw, it seemed like you kind of, without being too pushy, kind of suggested, hey, what about Venus? Venus is a good option. Was that by design? Like, you were like, let me see if I can put Venus in there also to like double my benefits?
Before we get to the twist, amazing twist, Kareen. Okay, structurally incredible. As the victim of this twist, me, Coco, Ty, and Venus, forget the game. That's just a good time in the turret. Like, what's not to like about that? Like, I'm going in there. I'm having a good time. I'm like, let's get the squad up in there. So yeah, she listed a couple names. I was like, even I wasn't too picky, but even when she said like Shaughnessy, I was like, that does nothing for me. That is someone who actually was more quiet that first day. I was like, that doesn't do anything. Got a couple others, and then she said Venus, and like I tried not to jump out of my pants. I was like, yeah, that we can. I guess I could work with that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I do think that by design, allowing the traitors to bring in a candidate or two of their own almost always is going to have the traitors consider a big ticket, big name, or big personality to, again, you want them to be loud in front of you. You want them to be noticed before you. So you're never going to look at someone who's more quiet as a potential pickup here.
Yeah. So she actually suggested Venus, and then we went for it. And it was I was also like excited about Coco. Like, Coco was a very interesting person to me. I knew that I hadn't watched Big Brother Quebec, but I knew that there was more strategy to it than some of the other franchises, as in like often Canada and the US are talked about as strategic games, and then their popular votes, which are still just strategic across the pond. Anyway, let's come back to Earth. But something was curious to me about her, and then she gets selected as a traitor along with me. I'm like, okay, there's something to this person that is exemplary.
I felt like, and this is just my personal read on it, watching both of your confessionals, having obviously known a lot more about you in the past, I was like, this kind of feels like a match made in heaven. It felt like, I was like, these are two personalities that are going to gel well together. They're both funny. They're both very willing to claim blood in the DR, in the confessional. Yeah. So I'm very excited to see how this pair up goes. And then when y'all added 2 candidates, I was like, this could kind of eat. But then Kareen had other plans for y'all. Kareen brings y'all out there and says, listen, these are the 2. You're going to sacrifice one and bring the other in. Now, we watch you, and I say this very nicely, begin to have what I can only imagine your world meltdown in front of you, right? Because you kind of have this perfect scenario in front of you where you've got 2 people that you're more than happy with to see in the turret. Yeah. But now, and like obviously your whole strat of bringing Ty in makes sense to burn him. later down the line. This is not when you want to burn him. This is not when you want to burn Venus. These are two personalities you want to keep in. And now you have to say bye to one of them. You have to bring one aboard. Just run me through your mental in that moment, your thoughts in that moment, your feelings in that moment.
This is one of the hardest moments that I've had on television, and for it to happen right at the beginning of the game was really, really tough. So I know strategically that the right move here is for me to keep Ty if I'm going to win the game. I also, like, a lot of those end game scenarios I ran had like a big brother person in it or Venus in it. Coco also doesn't know that I have a relationship with Venus. Ty also is like my buddy. Like, this is hell. I'm just standing there. Kareen's looking at me like, Pooya, and as much as, you know, I can blame the twist or whatever, like the clue happened. She was in the graveyard. She said 2 people will come back here, and I screwed up. And if Venus goes home, if Ty goes home, this is breaking my heart.
Yeah.
Either way. And it's like, I was prepared for a recruitment to see 2 people, but more in the mid game. Them throwing this at us in night 1 was absolutely horrific for me. Incredible TV. And you know what? Like, I'm going to lean in. They picked the right guy who's hard to break.
Yeah. I mean, they picked the right guy to do the pendant twist also. Like, they picked the right person for everything we got last night. I really would say so. And I do
One
agree
thing
with
happens when you put me on a season, it becomes one of the great seasons of reality TV. I'll go ahead and say this. If you're thinking about tuning into this show this season, I will hype it up. One of the great English-speaking seasons of The Traitors, period.
I feel like the hype has been there. It's been vocalized. I was hearing a lot, and then I watched episode 1, and I'm feeling it. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm excited for you to say that. I'm excited to see your journey play out. And I just want to say I appreciate the energy you put forth on the show, man. Like, I feel like after watching you on BB Can 10, part of me thought, I don't think we're going to see Kevin back on television again, but at least we got one perfect season of Kevin out of it. So to see you back on our screens last night was so reminiscent to me. It took me back. It was nostalgia. It was great. It was cinema. And I cannot wait to see where your journey goes from here.
Well, I'll say 2 things. One is thank you. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to come in. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to have a hell of a good time out there. Because it is always BB Can Traitors. As serious as it is, as much as Kareen crushed my absolute soul at the end of that episode, like, it is a game, and it's not real life, but it is so amazing and so fun. And I'm excited for you to see it, and also to meet the rest of the cast, who a couple people didn't even have confessionals in the first episode. This is a very strong group. The second thing I'll say is, Pooya, like, this is the season. So thank you for your coverage. Thanks to RHAP, thanks to Scally, because I think that the show does very well. I think there's going to be more social media this season, and more social media discussion, and that starts a lot with the real fans tuning in and talking about it. So thank you, the Duke of Deception, for all you do, and I'm excited to watch this absolute insanity go down.
The pleasure is absolutely ours, man. I'll speak for Scally as well and say that we have so much fun covering the show, and we had such a fun time talking about episode 1. We can't wait to meet the rest of this cast and also to talk to you again, and hoping that that'll be finale more than it'll be next week or, like 2 weeks from now. The more Kevin we get, the happier we're going to be, man. So cannot wait to see how your story plays out, where your journey goes. And thank you for giving us your time here today. We do appreciate it.
Unscripted television, baby. You cannot write this.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.
For you.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.